Hey Gold Digger, Kimberly Olson here, back for another episode of #GetLit, where we crush your business in less than 10 minutes. For today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get people to respond if they have been, all you've been hearing is crickets, they're ghosting you, and you don't know how to follow up. Like, how do you re-engage? How do you get that going? We're going to talk about all of that inside of this episode. Stay tuned. All right, so when it comes to handling getting ghosted, crickets, all of that, whatever you're experiencing in Messenger, people not getting back to you, first thing I want to say is it's completely normal. So if it's happening to you, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, you don't need to get in your head about it. It's not a bad idea, obviously, to look at themes and conversations to decide, like, is there anything that, you know, you're noticing where people are kind of losing them? Yeah, you want to reflect on that and check that out, obviously, right? But it is completely normal. So I'm going to share with you exactly what I do to handle those situations, because whether you're new, whether you're experienced, or if you are having success or you're not, you're going to see that 100% of the time this is going to happen to you at some point, okay? It's inevitable. So the first thing I do is I assume that they are busy and they either didn't see my message or they opened it, got busy with a toddler, right? Maybe a phone call, another message, a Clubhouse notification, and I lost them, right? They were in that Messenger conversation with me, and for whatever reason, they moved on to something else. I'm going to assume that they didn't look at my message and they're like, forget it, you know, it's Kimberly, okay? You don't want to assume that about yourself because you're going to get in your head, and it's just not healthy to think that way. So the first thing I do is I assume that they got busy. So what I'll do is I'll wait, I'll give them some time, you know, maybe a few days, and I'll message them back and say, hey Jane, hope you're doing awesome. I sent you a message before, I'm not sure if you got it. Let me know if that came through okay. Like you can see the message was right there, and I legit say that all the time. And usually they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I opened the message and my kid or whatever, right? There's something that happened. Put guilty below if you have had that happen for yourself, right? How many times have you, hopefully not often, but you were in a message chat and something happened, right? And you forgot about that conversation. I think we can all agree that we've all had that happen, okay? It's not intentional. So that's the first thing I do, kind of that play down, like, hey, you know, I sent this to you, did that come through? And usually they will say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right? You can also just say, hey, just popping back in here, I sent you a message. I've learned not to assume, you know, I'd love to know that if you received that message or not. And so now we're just kind of following up nicely, gently, all the things. Then if they don't, so what we have happened is you've messaged them and they didn't respond, okay? So you've given it a few days and now you're going back in saying, hey, I messaged you, did you see it, okay? If they don't respond at that point, so we've got 2 messages sent and we have 2 no responses, then my rule of thumb is I move on. And the whole go for no, keep messaging them until they say no. You don't want to isolate your whole friends list, if you know what I'm saying. And 25% of people are a yellow personality. A yellow personality means it's in network marketing space, but trust me, it's in coaching too. If you have coaching clients, yellow personalities are helpers. They love to build relationships. They love to, they really care about people. Those kind of people, I'm a yellow with a strong red right next to it. I don't want to say no to people. I do now because I just have learned not to care, and it's better, you know, to have boundaries. But for the longest time, I was people pleasers. You don't want to say no to people. So it could be that they're yellow and they don't want to hurt your feelings. They don't want to say no. They don't want you to think less of them. So they're just not responding, right? So it's kind of a passive aggressive way of saying no. If you keep badgering them and messaging them, you're going to start making them feel really bad. And then it's going to be uncomfortable. And then you're going to see them in church and they're just going to walk the other way, okay? Or virtually, you're going to see them somewhere and they're going to walk the other way and, you know, not think good of you. And you don't want that, okay? So I get the whole thing, like reaching out and asking people until people say no. Cool, like that's awesome. But that's not what I mean by this, okay? So my rule of thumb is if they haven't responded 2 times, I move on. I make a note, I put not right now, because I can't tell you how many times I have people resurface. Like that's literally, that happens to me pretty much every day. So I just, I still use Trello, and I just put a note, and I have a column, and I move them there, and I just put not right now. And then those not right now people stay there until they re-engage in some way with my content or whatnot. So now what we're gonna do is we're not gonna ignore them. We're not gonna be like, they're jerks, or any of that. We're just gonna realize for whatever reason, not right now. They're busy, they're not interested, they don't know how to tell us no. We're gonna assume the best, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're still going to stay in front of them. Keep them on your friends list, unless you realize like they're just not qualified, right? So maybe you're like, oh man, I don't even wanna work with that person, or like that's not a good fit. Then you can, get out of their orbit. But otherwise, stay in front of them. So don't think of it as like, we're done now. I mean, people need multiple exposures. Part of that exposure process is they need to see you, they need to see your content, they need to see the value you have, they need to see that you can help them. And you better believe if you're creating curiosity with your content, sharing about your products in a way that's indirect, sprinkling in the business opportunity, the successes you're having, inviting to things, right? Hey, who wants to come to our next challenge in our group about A, B, and C? Hey, if you've been watching me and you want to know more about how I'm building a business from my cell phone, just say me. They're watching that stuff. And you better believe when the timing is right, if you stayed in front of them, you're going to be the one that they reach out to, instead of giving them the virtual FU that you want to give them when they don't respond. I have absolutely had people message me and say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm seeing these messages I didn't get back to you on. My apologies, but I did want to reach out because of, XYZ. And it's typically about the products or the business. I had one girl who was a hard no, and I just, stayed friends with her, commented on her stuff sometimes. She was in our Facebook group, our value-driven Facebook group, where we ran challenges and did different things. And a year later, she messaged me. She's like, hey, I saw you have some kind of promotion going on. I want to go ahead and order a set from you. A year later. So she was a hard no. If I would have just been like, oh, forget you, It's so funny how we get all jiggity about things. We just need to relax a little bit. And you want to remember this is a process. So people will come and go. Even people who follow our brand, the Gold Digger Girl, they ebb and flow. I have somebody who just re-signed up for a program we have. And she, we worked with her the first half of last year. And she said, I went and I tried some other programs and nothing compares to what y'all have. I'm back and I want to re-enroll and do the whole program again. And I hadn't talked to her in 6 months. So we kept it, meaning we weren't in Messenger like, hey, come work with me, right? Like we were done. She finished the program. I still loved on her content. She's still on my friends list. She's in my Facebook groups. She's still seeing my podcasts and my stuff, right? So don't write people off because you never know when they're going to be ready. You also don't know, they might refer someone to you. And if you are just treating it like a negative thing and not thinking about this long term, then the energy around it will not serve you. So you're going to want to shift that and start thinking about, okay, how can I create some long-term relationships here? And know that it's a process for people. Just might not be the right timing. There could be something going on there, right? So just remember, it's 2 times that they say no, 2 times, or not say no, 2 times they don't respond, and then we move on. Just leave them where they are and let them, raise their hand and re-engage that conversation by interacting with your content in some way or shooting you a message, okay? And that has worked so well for me, and it makes me feel really good energetically about Messenger and conversations and keeping in front of people without harassing them because that's also 2019 and we don't want to do that. Okay, so wherever you're watching this, thank you for watching. Subscribe, follow, wherever you're at. And I would love for you to take a screenshot if you're watching this, a little video clip, your favorite part of selfie of you watching it, maybe just this. And I want you to throw it in your stories and tag me at the Gold Digger Girl, GOAL. And I would love for you to do that. And that way you can get notified when we have new episodes coming out as well. So appreciate you so much. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.